Hello and thank you for joining us on the Tuesday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. Today on the program, Nigerian Army vows to apprehend sanctioned personnel involved in extrajudicial killings as another video goes viral. Kaduna residents stormed State House of Assembly to protest against banditry, and later on the show, federal government to open Lagos-Ibadan express road diversion on the 15th of December, orders relocation of trucks. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Wale Adeoye. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for joining us. The Nigerian Army brims with the good, the bad, and ugly officers. While the good ones are pride of the army and the country, the bad ones are undesirable elements that must be uprooted from the military. The face of another viral video of soldiers involved in extrajudicial killings of a suspected Boko Haram terrorist. The Army Command has reiterated its stance to stamp out such acts from its fold. In a statement on Monday, the Nigerian Army vowed to apprehend and sanction any of its personnel found to be involved in unprofessional conduct and extrajudicial action. But it appears this thing is becoming hydra-headed in the Nigerian Army. Bajile, we shared the video today, and I saw the video, and it was nothing to write home about for a country that our army is actually a signatory to the United Nations different charter for, rules of engagement and several things. And for a long time, Transparency International, they've been at loggerheads with the Nigerian Army, saying that the way you go about conducting your operation, we have a problem with it. The Nigerian Army continuously, they've been denying it, saying that we have fifth columnists in Transparency International. They are coming after the Nigerian Army to discourage them and everything. But from what you saw today, what do you make of this video?
Let me start by saying, in April this year, a video went viral in which soldiers were disfiguring the legs of captives. The soldiers concerned had cutlasses and they were cutting directly from the leg of a captive who was still alive. So I called a friend who is a former commander of the Operation Lafia Dole. And he told me, no, these were not Nigerian soldiers, that given the way they were dressed, that they were not Nigerian soldiers. And then Colonel Sagir, the spokesman of the army, also came out with a press statement saying that those guys were not actually Nigerian soldiers, that even the way they were dressed, they were wearing flip-flops or what we normally call the troop slippers. So that's that. But the people we saw in the video that just went viral, there's no way anybody can deny that they are not Nigerian soldiers. Not only did they have a Nigerian Army multi-terrain vehicle at the location, they were speaking Nigerian language. They were clear; those ones were clearly Nigerian soldiers.
The particular one recording said it that
it was even saying from
Lagos State.
No, they were speaking Nigerian language. Those ones were Nigerian soldiers. The truth is, the army has a serious problem of discipline within its ranks. On July 12th, the army inaugurated a special court-martial to try people who misbehaved in the course of serving their country on Operation Lafia Dole. Soldiers who behaved badly. That's July 12th. Just this Friday, last Friday, the army inaugurated another panel to try men of Operation Lafia Dole again for cowardice and other crimes. And the commander of Operation Lafia Dole, General Segun Adeniyi, then said at the inauguration, he said, to maintain the armed forces in a state of readiness, the military must be in a position to enforce internal discipline effectively and efficiently. Breaches of military discipline must be dealt with speedily and frequently punished more severely than would be the case if a civilian is engaged in such conduct. So, for the army to have done all of this, put people on trial so frequently, constitute a panel to try them in military tradition, it shows that they know that they have a problem of discipline on their hands. And where you have that problem of discipline, the kind of things that we are seeing, because it puts us to shame as a people. I've heard people say, oh, Boko Haram cuts people's necks. Are they now saying that our cut necks of soldiers is bad? But must soldiers descend to the level of Boko Haram?
They're not conventional army.
That because they do it, they catch your colleagues and they cut their necks. So Nigerian soldiers too should now freely be cut. No, people who say that should have their heads examined. People who support that kind of action, because they represent our country. This video, for example, was sent to us by somebody based abroad. So do you know how many places the thing has gone to? And that is the way they would describe Nigerian army. You saw when we wanted weapons from the US for the first time, the thing they were saying was that no, they will use the weapon against their people. And then they invoked the so-called Lehi law. It was after Trump came that they put Lehi law aside and promised that he would send Tucano fighter bombers to us. So this is the situation. These kind of things, yes, the soldiers are frustrated. Some of them have been on the same location for 4 years, 5 years. Yeah. When you have that situation, they become war weary, and then bad behavior will be manifested by them. So the military must get to the root of this. I know that no matter what anybody may say about Burate as a chief of army staff, he takes the matter of discipline seriously. At least I know that. He takes discipline seriously. Nobody can say that TY encourages indiscipline in the army. So I believe that since they are promised, you will see from the language of that statement by the army that they believe that these are their own people. It was not a case of simply coming out to say no, that these are not our people. They said we will punish those found to have done this. So it's clear that they know that it's their own colleagues that did it. Now, but now we can only encourage them to go ahead and make examples of the soldiers who were so guilty of bad behavior in that video.
Wale, what do you make of this?
Well, to me, I saw the video. It's disturbing, but really not strange. Not strange in the sense that we have had series of stories, either by victims or by relations of people that were arrested. There have been a series of allegations coming from local international community against the Nigerian Army, even talking about torture of children that were detained, arrest of relatives of Boko Haram suspects, their wives, their families, which the army consistently denied. In 2014, there was a similar video, where people were killed and then pushed into
slaughtered
and then into mass grave. The army denied it. Now, what has come out only confirms, that the possibility is real. And if you also look at the army statement saying that we are going to investigate, not outright dismissal, it's an admission of the fact that it's possible that this case actually, this crime was committed by, Nigerian soldiers. Well, we have to look at the environment where the soldiers are fighting. And the fact that many Nigerian soldiers, when they are caught by Boko Haram, they are slaughtered like chicken, rippled, they are, intestine pulled out and all that. That's very bad. And when you are in that kind of situation, the temptation is there that ought to be overwhelmed by that base instinct. But that's why Nigeria should show her sovereignty as a nation established by law and guided by constitution. And as a member of the international community, we are signatories to the Geneva Convention, signed by about 194 countries. The danger is that when you continue to see soldiers commit this kind of crime, it means that we're also committing international crime. So there'll be no justification for us to be fighting criminals. When you do this kind of thing and people watch it, you are going to lose public support. You are going to lose the support of the community where Boko Haram is very strong. In fact, many people may be compelled to go and join Boko Haram in search for vengeance. Maybe their relations have been wrongly attacked by soldiers. The other truth is that this victim, we are not even sure whether it's a member of Boko Haram, whether it's a civilian, whether it's just a relation of a Boko Haram. It's just a suspect. So, and there are laws that guide, prisoners of war. When you arrest them, the law is there, what you need to do to them. But when you now take the law to your hand and then you begin to kill them in such a very bizarre manner, I think it calls for worry. Then we should also find out who was the person that, videoed that, produced that clip. It also suggests that there are people within the army that do not agree with that kind of tradition.
Or understand the implication of what
is going on. Recording it to make it public. So I think we need to probe further. And not just saying that, okay, we are going to, because we have been used to official statements, we are going to probe this case, and then after some times, nothing happens. So it will be in the interest of justice, in the interest of fair play, in the interest of the image of Nigeria in the international community, that the army should go to the root of this case, find out what happened, and if it need be, apologize, to Nigerians, and ensure that this kind of thing does not happen again.
But actually, bending the rules of engagement is not peculiar to the Nigerian Army alone. We see what's happened, even the U.S. Army worldwide, the phenomenon that everybody's trying to address and to tackle. But this, between Transparency and Amnesty International and the Nigerian Army, it has been a bone of contention in the last 4, 5, 6 years. So this coming at this time, what signal are we sending to the international community?
It's a very bad one. It's a very bad signal. When you have a bad case, you have a bad case. When those guys were shot, when those policemen were shot in Ibi, Taraba State, I said it from the beginning that the Nigerian Army had a bad case. I think it's obvious even to the blind now that they had a bad case. Because those guys were killed innocently. And there is no way by which anybody can cover it up. The army must eventually hand over that captain who committed such a shameless offense. They must eventually hand him over, no matter the delay. If they don't hand him over, for him to face justice the way that rapist was handed over by the army to face justice, the way that thief who called himself a soldier, who in Abia State, who was extorting money from Okada riders, and because they won't give him, he decided to waste someone's life. If they won't hand that captain over that way, Nigerians will continue to talk about it. And they will question the sincerity of our government to demand that what is right should be done. So this is the thing. You can't cover this. It's impossible. These things are in the open. So now the truth is, the army, when people say, oh, this is these things happen, they caught people, they caught the necks of soldiers. We've seen Nigerian soldiers, the disciplined Nigerian soldiers, we've seen them capture Boko Haram men, either put them on trial, or if they voluntarily surrendered, they will now put them through rehabilitation, resettle them. There is a place where in the northeast, I think Gombe, where they are actually trained. Those of them who surrender, they will now be reintegrated back into our national life. So if within the same army, there is provision under the Operation Safe Corridor to capture these people and then not simply take their lives. Why should some soldiers be doing this? Do they know that all their actions, their conduct must be governed by extant laws? That you carry a gun does not give you the license to do what absolutely makes no sense. We've seen American soldiers to do it in Afghanistan, in Iraq, but they put them on trial. One of them was put on trial and eventually hung himself in the prison. We saw an American soldier who raped a 13-year-old girl and eliminated all members of her family and then set them ablaze. He was put on trial. No country permits abhorrent behavior from its soldiers, even when they are at war. It's not permitted. The soldiers who are I question the quality of training of officers and men who will allow this. And I also think that the Chief of Army Staff ought to punish even the commanders of soldiers where these kind of things are happening, because we must put an end to it. This is not the only one that is circulating on social media. There are several others. Some of them you can't even bear to watch them for 2 minutes. And you see clearly that these are our soldiers. Why are we doing this to ourselves? They are letting down the rest of their colleagues. So that's why these ones should be punished. It's not, there is no two ways about it, or Nigerian English. There are no two ways about it. We must fish them out, because it's easy to pinpoint. In fact, the person recording it, yes, he was didn't want to show people's faces. But there was a time when he made a mistake. So they didn't even do it professionally. So it's easy to catch the soldiers who are involved. And that's what we have to do. Make an example of them. When you make an example of people who behave like this, in future, nobody will want to sit down and be cutting fellow human being into bits like a butcher at a Kara market. No, it makes no sense. It makes no sense.
While moving forward.
Yeah, with the army, we should not continuously make the mistake that the army has to be at all times a judge in its own case. I would like to see what the Senate wants to do on this, because each time we allow the army to go and investigate and try its own people, we may not get the result that we really want. I would like to see the Senate committee on security, to also show interest so that we can have an alternative source of creating a kind of investigative process that will help us to have a public view of what actually happened. Because what those soldiers fail to realize is that when you kill that, even if it's a Boko Haram suspect, once you eliminate him, you have eliminated a whole source, a major source of information. Because by keeping him alive, you'll be able to gather a lot of information from him to know how the network operates. But when you eliminate him, how are you going to, how is it going to lead you to other suspects? So I think it's a very wrong strategy, even in terms of intelligence gathering.
Even it's not every Boko Haram fighter that willingly joined the group.
Yeah.
Boko Haram attacks a community. They spare old women and men. They will abduct young women who can cook for them, and some of them they can marry off to their fighters. They abduct young, able-bodied guys. These are people that they will eventually conscript.
Because there are some areas they don't have government presence. In most of those areas, Boko Haram will just go there, overrun the area and put their flags and to become their territory.
Yeah, what I'm even saying basically is that it's not everyone who joins them willingly. They come, they pack people. You are then forced. There are many Nigerian soldiers in their hands. There was a community that they attacked, an army base that they attacked. They took away a soldier who is a medical doctor. Up to now, we've not seen him. That one will probably be helping them to treat their injured people. The same way that when they attack a community, the young people, they will force them to fight on their side. It's not every. Sometimes when you capture a Boko Haram fighter, you see clearly that they do not even have the heart to fight. It's just a question of indoctrination, and then the fact that they tell them that, look, if you try to desert, you will be slaughtered. And then you see this kind of people who can willingly give you information, and the first thing you want to do is to start butchering them like an alakpata. It makes no sense. It really makes no sense.
I have my first caller from Kaduna State. Okay, I think I've lost. Oh, Rufai, I think I've lost that. So, basically, now when it comes to the international community, for some time now, we've been calling for assistance. We've been wanting to buy ammunition and everything, and this kind of signal could send a very, wrong message to people like the United States of America.
Definitely. It's going to affect our standing international community. It's going to affect our ability to talk to our partners that they should come and support us, to give us funds, to give us necessary ammunition, because we are not trying to justify, the conditions under those which those ammunitions were giving. And also, I think it's a good public relations for the Boko Haram itself, because those who support Boko Haram internationally, will be enraged by this kind of video, and it's going to compel them to give more support, international support to them. So when you look at it head and tail, it's a blunder for the Nigerian image.
Jide, especially when we have influx of foreigners mixing with ISWAP right now to strengthen the position of Boko Haram right now.
Yes, it's for Boko Haram, they can churn out videos showing them killing people. They want to do that to instill fear in people, that look, we are the alternatives to your government. They want to do that to scare their own members, because if as a member you try to desert, if they catch you, is that treatment that you get. They want to do that to instill that fear in them. But we can't go that route. It makes no sense for us to go through that route.
Lawless.
And look, the Tucano fighter bombers that we're asking for, the Tucano cannot get here earlier than maybe 2022. So if we are not careful between now and that period,
anything can happen.
Anything can happen. They can decide to cancel the contract and return your money. It's a possibility. There are other countries that are waiting in the wings. Who will buy the weapons that we have been waiting for all this long? The first set will be delivered, not even everything. The first set will be delivered 2022. So it's not looking good at all. That these kind of things, if America complained at that time that if they sell weapons to us, we'll use it to kill our people, it doesn't mean that because Trump is backing us now, that some people can begin to draw his attention to some of these things.
The Congress, yeah.
Yes. After all, when the president went to America, Trump told him that the killing of Christians will no longer be tolerated. Apparently, because of the killings in Benue at that time, some people had made it known to Trump that, look, Christians were being killed in Nigeria. Whereas in our country, both the Christian and the Muslim are being killed. In fact, in the Northeast, it's predominantly the Muslim being killed.
Okay,
so we have to be careful.
Macaulay is calling us from Ogun State.
Hello. Hello.
Bankole, thank you for joining us.
Yes. What I'm seeing about this discussion, in fact, it gives me a poisonous mind. You people are not looking at the soldier as if they are not human beings. Hello. Yes. What you people are saying, in fact, I am highly against it. The Boko Haram will be killing soldiers as if they are not human beings.
I think I get the drift of what Bankole is trying to say. But Bankole is because we are so responsible and we have people that regulate our activities here. We can't show that video. It's only for social media.
He's not even asking us to show video.
No. But as in to show him the video to understand what we are talking about, because
maybe
some people will just some people will just comment on this thing. They don't know how.
I'm not even sure that if he sees that video, he will be convinced that it was wrong for soldiers to be mutilating people.
Because
their own argument is, oh, these people too, when they see soldiers, they do the same.
But I think what we should tell our public is that we have regulations.
The rule, even the army rule does not allow them.
engagement.
The army rule does not allow them to do that. We can't descend to the level of people like Boko
Animals.
Haram.
Yeah.
Those ones are animals now. So what are we talking about? That we should encourage them that when they kill people, they should disembowel them, they should cut their necks. In this age, no, we will not sit on this program and do that. Nobody will do that here.
Yeah,
partition.
exactly. We can't, descend into animal kingdom and begin to act, like terrorists as a state. We can't act as terrorists. It's a state, it's a sovereign state. And we cannot resort to the method being applied by, terrorists. It will be very wrong.
Yeah.
All right.
Soldiers who killed a detainee the other day, they've been sentenced to death. You capture somebody and you just shot him. You are not permitted to do that. You are not permitted. What is he saying?
Still to come. Worried by the rising cases of armed banditry, Kaduna residents stormed State House of Assembly in protest. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this time out. Welcome back. This is Journalist Hangout. We're reaching you from Television Continental here in Lagos, Nigeria. It was Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka who admonished us to learn to set forth at dawn. In his memoir of that title, this is about striving to take your own destiny in your own hands. For the people of Rigasa community in Igabi local government area of Kaduna State, it is time to take the bull of armed banditry ravaging the state by its ugly horns. Residents of Rigasa stormed the State House of Assembly in protest against rising cases of kidnapping and armed robbery in their communities. The placards within protesters urged the lawmakers to intervene and save them from armed bandits, who they said are still holding about 50 people, including a pregnant woman from Rigasa, captive. Today, what is this about Kaduna again?
When it comes to security, you can say that it has broken down in Kaduna State. Police record for kidnapping is there. Kaduna is right there on top. This is not something that I invented. This is something verifiable. Verifiable police records show that
Abuja,
security
Kaduna,
has collapsed in Kaduna
is always
State.
in the news.
Yes, security has collapsed in Kaduna State. Is it Brunengari that we are talking about? That literally is the headquarters of banditry now. Because bandits are moving from Katsina back to Brunengari because based on the peace, the accord that is in place, they can no longer operate in those places. In Zamfara too, where was the last time you heard that bandits kill people? Because once Bello Mutawale got into office, he made peace with the bandits. In any case,
In spite of the criticism.
in any case, what we call banditry, as it affects Zamfara and even Katsina, actually originated from a kind of ethnic crisis between the Hausa and the Fulani. The Hausas are the farmers. The Fulani are the cattle rearers and the rest. And they've been killing one another. That is how, I met with the bandits in Katsina. So I have the story. It started as an ethnic a clash. Now, in those places we have peace. They are coming back now to Kaduna. They found a haven in Kaduna where they can continue to kill people at will, kidnap people at will. You can see the schools, teachers, pastors, they are being kidnapped at will in Kaduna State. And that Rigasa where they are talking about, there is a big bush. Rigasa is the biggest ward, I think, in Nigeria today. Behind Rigasa is a big bush where these guys go to keep people that they have kidnapped. They enter people's homes, take away their wives, take them into the bush. These things are happening. Now they've gone to the House of Assembly. Well, I think it should be the governor's office that they should have gone to. They should have gone to C. Rufai himself because he's the governor. is the one who will take action. What is the House of Assembly going to do? El-Rufai ought by now to have designed a framework by which he can better protect his people. He has to take the protection of Kaduna people seriously. In Chikun local government, people will break your door, come into your house, and then take you away. It shouldn't be happening. And you can see, look at even now to show you that the governor doesn't appear to be on top of the situation. His commissioner for internal security is a man with no knowledge of security issues, no background in security.
And that's strange for
That's a
El-Rufai.
person. That's a person who used
So
to be a
like-
spokesman. Samuel Arunwa
Oh,
is his commissioner for internal security and home affairs. What is his background? He was a journalist.
So unlike El-Rufai.
Journalist at Leadership at Blueprint. Does he have the capacity to be able to design a framework to protect his people? Is that the best he can find? So yeah, we must begin to take the protection of Kaduna people seriously. Cattle rustling now has come back to Kaduna. You know that the naval ratings arrested 5 cattle rustlers and freed 267 cows last week. You saw the story. And then 51 sheep. So this was not happening before. These were things they used to do in Katsina and in Zamfara.
Zamfara.
They are now in Kaduna doing it.
The rustlers.
They are back. That's where they found in Kaduna now a home. The truth must be told. Whether you blackmail us or not, we will say the truth. They have now found a home. And you know, there are states that, those states are close to Kaduna, Zamfara, Katsina. So the bandits can easily move in and do the kind of nonsense that they are doing now.
Wale?
Well, it's a very unfortunate thing. You know, in February, I think over 100 people were killed. You know, during just this year.
Over 100.
Yes. The same thing in April this year. So we thought if you give the government some few months to settle down, that maybe we'll be able to address this problem. Even though many people have lost hope in the past first term of 4 years. I don't think the governor has a solution to the problem. And it appears, I was in Kaduna about 2 weeks ago. It appears many people in Kaduna see him as part of the problem, either because of his utterances, because of his nonchalant attitude, and because of his, boastful outbursts, giving the impression that it's on top of every situation, even when the city is sinking in terms of security. Yeah. We should not forget that Kaduna is the headquarters of Nigerian military province. That's why you have the Nigerian Defense Academy. You have the military school in Zaria.
And the one mechanized.
One mechanized. So and all these things, everything, Kaduna State. And in spite of all these things, a state that's supposed to be the most protected. So if a state that is supposed to be the heaven of Nigerian defense mechanism is not safe, I think it's a very serious problem. Unfortunately, I don't think, perhaps why these people from this community went to the House of Assembly was that they have lost confidence in the governor. They felt maybe by going to the House of Assembly is a better alternative. I don't think El-Rufai has a master plan. Like I said, I mean, R1 is somebody I know very well. Probably would have been good as Commissioner for Information. Yes. But now to put him in charge of security, I don't understand why he has to.
Normal.
Yeah. So it means that, the governor appears to continuously underestimate the problems, at hand.
Initially, there was a time the governor was said to have, gone to these bandits to adopt the model Masari and Matawale.
No.
At the early stage, if you remember.
No, those ones were not bandits.
That he paid them, that...
those ones were not bandits.
Okay.
There have been ethno-religious riots. And if you remember, people were killed in southern Kaduna. Fulanis were killed. Okay. And naturally, they want to avenge the killing of their people and their cattle. So those were the people that he tried to appease. Those are not bandits. There are genuine Fulanis who are not bandits, but who can be angry about the fact that you killed one of their own. And who feel justified to take revenge. Those ones, we can't call them bandits. Banditry is a different thing.
Did it till you went to Katsina? You know, before you went to Katsina, a lot of people have been raising that question that, look, how come a state like Katsina, how come a state like Zamfara, how come any governor in Nigeria will sit down with bandits to negotiate? You brought back a better insight to the reason why, you know, that some governors are forced to negotiate with these people, that the states might not have the capacity to actually tame their activities.
It's not everything that can even be achieved by force. We put soldiers there, we put Air Force personnel there, we put civil defense there. But they could not stop the killings. Because this is killings among brothers. So how do you then, and a lot of the communities that they attack are not even defended. They deliberately go to attack distant communities, you know, inside, deep communities that are far away from where you have the next police station or police post. So how do you stop that? Sometimes too, when these attacks are made and you call for reinforcement, before the reinforcement comes, they finish the killing.
The bad roads.
And sometimes even the reinforcement would not be enough. When I went to Katsina to speak with those bandits, I saw burnt vehicles of army, civil defense, because the bandits overwhelmed them. And those guys had to withdraw. They beat a retreat, they left their vehicles and ran away. So if you are a governor, you've seen that military intervention cannot stop killings. You fold your arms and watch your people die. That's what, and there is an option somewhere that you can adopt.
A lot of people
that's what Masari felt. And he had to go and meet them directly.
Went into
he went into where they were. You will see a video of the secretary to the government in Katsina State, Dr. Mustafa Inua, on motorbike, going deep to where the head of the bandits was to go and talk to him. People should not trivialize what has happened. Because when you look at the way they were killing people in Zamfara, before Mutawale made peace, in one day in Dansadao, bandits killed 164 people. So
Zamfara was almost
one market day. Now, people will come and say, oh, who will be happy to watch 164 of his people killed in one day? So if there are extreme measures that you can take, you have to take those extreme measures. Just as Governor Masari said, the people being killed are just like the rest of us. I'm just a governor. That's why I look like, I'm a big person. They are just like us. Any of us could be victim. So if you adopt security, military approach, you give soldiers money, you provide vehicles for them, and at the end of the day, they cannot help you to solve the problem. Do you then go to God to find a solution? You must look within. God created us to look for solutions to our problems. He will not come down to solve problems for us.
Well, it seems this carrot and stick approach has worked so far.
We have a lot of striking examples, even in our own history here. The Agbekoya uprising, the then governor had to, take chopper to go and meet the Agbekoya leaders right inside the bush there. And the Agbekoya people insisted they also wanted Awolowo to follow him. And they went there, negotiated with them. Their leader was Chief Tafa Adeoye. They had a meeting with them, and that was how they were able to resolve that uprising. Because in the whole of Southwest, they had almost turned the whole place upside down.
Black power.
But when their own people decided to go and talk to them, it was like, nobody could believe it. Within a very short time, the crisis was resolved. So why should we be against negotiation? Are they not Nigerians?
Oh.
If it's going to bring peace, why should we run away with it? And it's cheaper. It's cheaper.
It's cheaper than warfare.
It's cheaper than warfare.
Yeah.
Somebody will
you buy a single bomb. You buy a single bomb, 8,000 euros. And then you just drop it. Sometimes you drop it. The Air Force drops bombs sometimes. They will go back to do post-operation examination. They will not find a single person that they killed. I'm telling you, to God, they will go back. They will not find. Before they drop, those guys had run away. So, and you know how much we will have wasted, dropping 8,000 euro bomb. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. If we can save that kind of money and then make peace, I think it makes sense. For what we are going through now, Kaduna, from Niger, all those forests, full of bandits, and they are operating freely. We have to find a way to solve the problem.
I am Nasir from Kebbi State. Thank you for joining us.
Hello?
Yes, thank you for joining us, Nasir.
Yes. The issue of the banditry in Kaduna State is that the governor, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, did not get... So, thank you.
Nasir,
go ahead.
Yes, the governor did not even get one single army in his hand, but he is taking a serious measure in tackling the banditry, because today I heard that he donated over 85,000 vehicles.
85,000?
It can't be 85,000.
Nasir, are you still there?
He donated 85.
How many vehicles?
85 vehicles, not 1,000.
Okay, 85 vehicles. Okay. That means he's beginning to do something.
Okay.
Hello?
I mean, that means he's beginning to do something.
Yes, he is beginning to.
He should have donated those vehicles a long time ago.
All right, thank you, Nasir. So some people, it's very convenient from the south here. They'll just go to the social media and just write that, imagine how can the Nigerian governor be negotiating with the bandits.
Even that picture that they showed,
so you brought that story back.
That picture of Masari that they showed is a very old picture. Is the bandit, the head of bandits in Zamfara that was killed. Buhari Ndaji. That's Buhari Ndaji. The one that was killed by Dogo Gide. Dogo Gide went into, because he stole cattle from Dogo Gide's in-laws. So Dogo Gide now said, why should you steal cattle from my in-laws? Return what you stole. He now said, no, I've already shared what I stole. So Dogo Gide took his people. Then they went and killed Buhari Ndaji. I think Buhari Ndaji was killed maybe early last year or the year before. So it's an old picture that they are showing that, oh, Masari is interfacing with bandits. Even an old picture, it's not a fresh one. But what is wrong in even negotiating with people to put an end to the killings? Read about Zamfara. I'm talking about Zamfara. Not one, since that man negotiated with them, they've not killed a single person. And
there was a time on a daily basis were shouting about Zamfara.
And they were kidnapping
Zamfara is
people.
becoming a failed state.
And he has not even spent 1 year. See what he has achieved.
They killed this senator's sister. What's his name? Kabu Marafa. You know? They killed. So now they have peace.
I think we say kudos to Governor Matawale.
Yes.
We're right on
Bello
the
Matawale, well done.
Bello Masari. Yes, Masari. That's and our friend Alhaji Inua Mustafa. Dr. Mustafa from this thing. Now moving on. Now the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is arguably the busiest highway in West Africa. So closing sections of the road for construction works during the festive period like Christmas may be hellish for travelers. To avoid this scenario, the federal government says all the versions around the construction zones on the expressway will be opened to motorists from the 15th of December. The director of Federal Highways for Southwest, Funsho Adebiyi, who gave the cheering news in Ogere, Ogun State, said the decision is to ensure free flow of traffic during the Christmas period. Government also ordered truck drivers at Ogere to relocate from the construction zone as the activities have made construction of some sections of the road almost impossible. Jide, this is good news. Because for you to just even get to Shagamu now, sometimes it could take some people. Somebody complained to me that he stays in Ibafor, that he had to leave Ibafor by 3:30 in the morning to be able to get to his working place.
People are dying instrumentally.
3:30.
The sufferings we go through in Lagos, you know, it's difficult for people to live long. It's difficult for people. If you live in the village where you enjoy uncontaminated air,
natural food,
and they give you natural vegetables, you know, you eat pounded yam, you are likely to live into your 90s. But the way it is, the way we struggle in Lagos, people will wake up 3 a.m. just to get to work. And then when they leave work, they spend 3 hours or 4 hours to get back home. There's no way they will be able to live long. Because the body, the daily grind that the body goes through, is just not good enough. It's just like buying a generator. If you use it, you use the generator again and again and again, it will not live long. Live long, in quote. Other people who use their own sparingly, you will find that their lifespan will be longer than yours. So if you travel, the last time I traveled to Osun State, on my way back, the journey was very fast.
Very short.
Immediately I got to somewhere after the detention camp.
That's the beginning of
it took me 4 hours from that point to get home.
From the detention camp.
Meanwhile, it didn't take me more
from
than 2.5 hours
from Osun
to get to that point.
Yes.
You can actually, within Lagos now, because I mean from Ogun State, from that end, from that corridor, redemption camp area to Baja, you can actually spend the same time that you spend traveling from Ilorin to Lagos.
Yep. Yeah.
It is that bad.
Possible,
And
yes.
what it means is that people are dying instrumentally. So the earlier this nightmare can end, the better for Lagos.
Somebody told me that he got home 3:30 the particular day, and he had to leave. He just had to go and shower, come back, leave 5:30 again.
I think
What's
this road now, they've given them 2020 to finish this road. I can see
Very
that's
important.
why
Yes,
the pressure
yes.
is. So
And
they
the
have
quality
to
of what
deliver
they are
the
doing.
road,
I
have
saw
to
it
deliver
the other day.
quickly. No, the quality is top notch.
Wale?
Well, I think if you look at recent times, around 1990s, people started moving to those areas with the hope that they were escaping from the pressure in Lagos, on Lagos. But it turned out that they have put themselves in a very more difficult situation. I think it's a very unfortunate thing. If someone is going to London from Lagos,
6 hours.
6 hours, you might spend the same hour from here, going to Ibadan. So how do you explain that? And this is the nerve center of Nigerian economy. It's the most important economic route, interstate route in Nigeria. It was built in 1978, 41 years ago. It took Julius Berger 38 months to build that road.
Quality.
Yes. Now, since 2013, when it was re-awarded for its construction, we have been on it since 2013, just to reconstruct the road. Just to amend the road. You can see how many
No, they are
years.
not amending it though.
Now to build a new road took Julius Berger 38 months. 38 months. Yeah, just 3 years and 8 months or so. Now we have been on this road for several years. I think it's a short term. It's very good.
Funding too is part of the
Yeah,
problem.
what the government is doing is very good. It's going to reduce stress, but there should be a long-term plan, because this route leads to other parts of the country, Sokoto, Maiduguri, everywhere. So maybe the other states, like the 3 states that this route transverses, Lagos, Ogun, and Oyo.
Okay.
They should look for an alternative express route, from Lagos to Ibadan, because I don't see how this road can continue to serve the purpose, for which it was built 41 years ago. Because there's no way you can expand. There are so many buildings, so many churches and all that. So we should be thinking of an alternative. I don't think we anticipated that about 300,000 people will be passing through this route when it was built in 1978. It was completed in 1977 and, inaugurated in 1978. So there was no future conception in terms of, the population emergence, or population growth, the impact on this road. On that road.
Looking at how strategic this road is, all over the country, tankers from all the states, they come, pass through this same road to access Tinkan Island and everything.
They are the ones who damage the road.
Yes, I think the federal government should just give it like a priority.
Yeah.
No, I think they've given it without Fashola even openly saying it. It is clear that this road and the second Niger bridge are priorities to the administration, and that was why I came out the other day to say what was given to Fashola, or was projected for him to spend in the 2020 budget is just too small for the quantum of work that the man with the gray hair needs to do. There's so much work to do. And I know that they will want to do their best to finish this road at the stipulated time, which is next year. So, and that's why, you know, the RCC has done a good job.
Yeah,
The Ibadan end of it, Shagamu Ibadan end. Yeah. But they still have a little left. And it's these tankers in that Ogere area. Now they've been told to vacate. They've been told to vacate that area so that they can construct that little stretch that is left, you know. So, and
this
if you
tanker,
see the way,
I think they have a base there.
That is where they stay.
Ogere.
That is where they stay, you know. Now, because there's no tank farm for them, they just stay there around that place. They've turned that place into their own city. The painful thing is that along what they call the Long Bridge, there's a lot of armed robbery taking place. People capitalizing, bad people capitalizing on the gridlock.
Traffic now.
So people are scared these days because they dispossess them of their
some
phones,
people will
their
abandon
jewelry
their
and all that. Some will abandon their vehicles and run. Because those boys, they know that you'll be stuck in traffic. There's nowhere to go. So they will just come and start attacking people. So now the army and the police and road safety, they've now synergized to stop these attacks on innocent commuters. Where do people go? The front is blocked. You can't jump over other cars. Yet, we are at the mercy of these boys who want to rob people. So the earlier we can finish the road, the better. And I can't wait for those diversions to be opened so that the people can freely move on that very, very important highway.
Well, it's going to be like a Merry Christmas for our brothers that travel, the people that travel for Christmas. Yeah. If you are sure that you can just maneuver through that road in 30 minutes, you are in
it's
Shagamu.
good news. I'm sure some people even
and
abroad.
it affects those of us to help.
Yeah, in this area, all of us.
Yes. Because it comes into the express. Yeah.
I'm sure people will even say they are not coming to Nigeria from abroad because of Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. But with this news now, I think many of them will come home. At least the road will be free.
Okay, if you want to come home, you can come home.
Then those of us, those going to Agege, going to Ikeja, you know, those going to
Bridge,
Iju, those going to Akute. They don't have to then go through long road before they still use that. That's the implication.
Wale Adeoye, thank you so much for your contribution. And Bikio, thank you for always being there.
Thank you.
And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can also watch Journalist Hangouts on our platforms showing on the screen. We're also on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. We're also on Facebook Live. I'm Ayodele Uzubaku. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.